Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at my own construction figure collection and to see if it's worth me carrying on with this line. So what I want to do is I want to see how they compare with each other for scale, what the new Ant-Man construction figure looks like alongside, for example, the Spider-Man. We're going to check out the box artwork, construction booklet, and obviously we'll have a look at the articulation as well. But as this video goes through, let me know if this is a collection you have started. If it is, how do you display yours? Do you put it on a shelf? Do you put it on a cube? Or is this a line you have passed on? But with that being said, let's get to it. So I'll kick things off by looking at the front of the box artwork first. Now, each one of these individually, I think, does look very, very good, and they are completely different to each other as well. Because as we pan down the front of the Batman box, you can see what he is stood on. He's stood on the gargoyle, just down in the bottom there. And then as we pan round and back up to the X-Men 97 Wolverine, you can see what he is stood in front of. So each one stands out on the shelf very, very nicely. And as we're coming over to the Spidey, you can see he is over in New York. So I think each one of those individually, they look great, but putting them together like this and starting to make a display of them, and I think if you added the construction figures in front of them, I think it will look very, very good. So that's something that we will start looking into. But we'll start off with the Batman. So this is the obviously Batman construction figure set number 76259, and I think that one does look very, very smart. Moving over to the Wolverine, that is set number 76257, and then for the Spidey, that is a bit of a difference with regards to the box artwork. This is down on the bottom left, and that is set number 76226. And you can also see a slight difference here where it's actually got the name of the character in Lego bricks at the bottom, where none of the newer ones do. So I think the Spider-Man is the slightly older of the four. So again, let us know in that comment section which one you prefer. And then moving over to this one just here, you can see that the set number on this is just tucked away in the top left hand corner. So this is the Ant-Man, and it is set number 76256. And again, with regards to the box artwork, that's taken from the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania film. This is one thing I hope continues with these construction figures, that they have each individual face print on the outside of the box. So each one of these elements are not stickers, and they're one of the final face shields that you actually put on. So you can see it is a one-to-one thing, and they do look really, really nice, and it does make it nice and easy to spot when they're on the shelf. Something I wish they did continue with is this kind of artwork on the other side of the box. Now they have done it for the Spider-Man and the Batman, so that's obviously easy enough. You can see that beautiful artwork there, and you've got the Batman logo, so that's easy. So if it is in, for example, behind a glass cabinet and the staff have put it in the wrong way round, the newer ones, well, they look like that. Now at least this one has the set number, but the newest one has absolutely nothing. So fingers crossed they will realise their mistake and go back to this, because obviously if these just get thrown in a pile or they are behind a glass cabinet, you need to grab a member of staff like they have done now, I do believe, in America with their Walmarts. It makes it very, very difficult to figure out exactly what each one of those are. But as we go from the newest to the oldest, I think the oldest looks the most effective. So for the instruction booklets, we'll just do this one, because each one is there or thereabouts exactly the same, apart from what you're building. So you just get this bit on the inside, and then you do just have two bags. Bag number one has an inner bag. You can see you basically just build the torso up. Bag number two, it's arms, legs, and head. And the head is the last thing you do, and that is where I said on the side of the box they have those sort of one-to-one replicas, and that is not a sticker, that is a full-blown print. With regards to everything on the inside, it's very, very plain, very, very simple and easy to follow. But for some reason, they've stopped doing it again, and I hate it when they do that, is you've got the pieces on the back and then a picture. Nothing else to say what else you can buy at this time, because currently, apart from this one at the bottom, all of these, as the time of this being filmed, all of these are still available to buy, with two more coming. I think there's an exclusive Iron Man at the Lego store as well. So I don't know why they don't put that in there, if anybody wants to backtrack them, but at least you know that currently they are still all out together. So it's time to take a look at the figures themselves. Now we'll start off with the Spider-Man. So I'll just pan up slowly at the front, then I'll spin him round, and we'll have a look at the back side as well before we check out all the different bits and pieces that this thing can do. Now it does come with quite a lot of different web effects, and the web effects are still in the box for this one, but this is the only one that I have added. So carry on with the back side of the figure, and you can see it is slightly different to the front, because there is a lot of different Technic bits and pieces on show. Now they hide it very, very well on the front, but they don't really need to as much on the back, because you're not really going to pose it from the back side. Now you can see how you get such a good head swivel with this because it is on a big Technic piece and a big ball pin. Now what we'll do is we'll go again from bottom to top with regards to all the bits and pieces that move, and we will do this for each character because there will be different bits and pieces that each one of these will do. Now we are on a very, very slippy table, so if it falls over, it falls over, but the feet on these are big enough, and obviously me poking it as I am now, it's doing all right. But you have got a heck of a lot of flex on here, so you can have a broken ankle effect if you really, really wanted to, and you can come in all the way to the inside on both. So if you want to get some nice poses or get his feet together like so, you can, but that is the first lost piece because that is something putting too much strain on the front of the knee. Now talking of knee, I will repair all of these as we go. If we lie this down, you can see just how much flex you've got in the foot going backwards. Then you can bring the knee all the way around, so you get into that much of a flex, but then it has got very, very mobile hips, so you can just keep going. So if you want to, for whatever reason, you can get the leg up into that position, and obviously it is the same on both. And then again from that position, if you wanted to then straighten the knee off, you can do. So you can get some really nice big steps and nice big poses. And we're doing it led down so it doesn't end up falling over and breaking more than what it needs to. Now with regards to it being stood up, like I said, stand them up like so. It's super easy just to stand them up like so. Now the heel on this one is not touching the floor yet, and it does have that much balance. You can see that if I wanted to rock that ankle in a little bit more, I could do. Then as we're coming up the thighs, that is simple enough. And also you can rotate the hips out if you want to. Now talking of rotation with regards to the torso only rotates left and right. We can't crunch it, so we can't go forwards and we can't go backwards. So again, if I lie you down like so, you can just twist the hips all the way around, so you have all the full range on there, and obviously lines back up again, but you can't do an ab crunch, so obviously it doesn't bend from the middle. You can just about sit him, but that is as far as he will sit up, because of all the other little bits and pieces that are in the way, and each one of these again is slightly different with regards to the element that is on the thigh. You could potentially rock the hip out and then try and get him up set up, but you can have a little bit more fun playing with that one than I am going to. With regards to the shoulder, there we go, leg has fallen off. Told you it's easy enough to do. With regards to the shoulders, they do move easy enough. So again, coming round, you have got all of the mobility round on. Again, it's all the same sort of things. You've got these nice little balls there. Each one of these fingers, now some of them have more fingers than others, which is a little bit weird, so you can see which is the older ones, and they've got different elements in. So these don't have the little blades, these are more the little sausage fingers. So you have got the thumb, the 3 fingers, and then you've got the pad on the inside. Now that is where the web will attach to. With again to the wrist, that spins all the way around, all the way up, all the way down, nice and simple. And then with the elbow, that bends all the way through and comes all the way back round again. For the shoulder, depending on how you've got this shoulder pad, will depend on how high the shoulder will come up to. So that is halfway up. So that is probably as much as you are going to get out of that with regards to the height of that, because the pad is completely in the way. But again, if you wanted to then twist the arm around and then bring it in as a bicep curl for whatever reason to get his arm up higher, you can do. So that is how you're going to have to do that. And again, you have got the same rotation on the other arm. I will fix his leg and then we'll carry on. Leg has been fixed. Now before I start to pose him properly, head moves all the way back, all the way forward. So again, if you're thinking of taking photos with these, you can do, and it will spin all the way around over the shoulder pad on both sides. And obviously if you need to, you can tip it round and do whatever you want to. Then you can get a little bit weird and have his head all the way, but you have got the full range of motion in the head. And again, you can tip it over to the side, do whatever you want to do, have him looking down, or if you're going to be crawling for whatever reason, you can then get him on his stomach with his head up. So you have got that ability to do that. Yes, his legs are in the splits currently, but if I was to put the camera down like so and then start to get him in a sort of a crawling position, get his knees bent back and do whatever it is like that, for example, you can. So you can do different bits and pieces. You can have him climbing up a wall or whatever it is that you need to do. But if you do spend more than 2 seconds trying to pose them, you can do. So you can get some nice little angles like so. So again, you can tip the head over, do whatever it is that you want to do. And the webs do come in very handy to prop the characters up with, because if that web was not there, because of the angle that this thing is at, so again, if you get it from that side, you can see just how far back that leg is. So you do have the benefit of these being super strong. Now we go to something that doesn't have one, and I'll bring it straight over now. That is the Batman character. So we go straight into the hands themselves, but you'll be able to see right now as we go straight to the hand of Batman that we don't have the ability to do what Spider-Man can do. So on the inside of both hands, you do have the clip for the attachment. Not all of them do have that. But again, I was saying about these fingers, you can see these fingers, there's little short, stumpy little fingers on this one, whereas the hand of the Batman has much longer fingers. They've got completely different elements on the hands. And I think from moving forward, they are all this style of finger. So we will get this one out the way. See, still stood up nicely on there. And then we'll do the exact same thing with the Batman. So we'll start to speed up now, because you can see the ankles are on the exact same elements. They've got the exact same hinge or the pin, and you've got the ball that goes all the way around. So the foot goes round to a certain range. The knee, exactly the same flex on the knee. It's a little bit harder with this one because it's so dark. But with regard to the torso, if I can stand you up on this one, obviously the main focus point on this is the actual belt. Now the belt does not get in the way to be able to turn his pelvis around. So you can see just how easy that is. He does spin absolutely fine, and each one of them obviously on their chest plate, you've got the spider, and then you've got the spider there, and then you've got the bat on there. And again, nothing is stickered on here. These are all individual prints, as everything you see on this one is all individual prints. Now again, the big difference between the two, minus the colour and one being a spider and the other one being a bat, is obviously this is the only one that has a long cape, and the cape does look nice. It's one of those, and this hides everything that the other one didn't. So again, same thing on the back. You've got quite a lot of different bits and pieces with regards to the different two-tones. You've got the silver and black, where you obviously had the blue and red on the other one. And again, you've got a little bit more detail on the side, just on the arms, just there. So there's a fair bit going on with this one with regards to the detail. And then obviously up top here, you've got all the detail with regards to the back of the head to make it look like a bat. But obviously you have got everything. There's a piece missing on that side. In fact, I am 100% sure there's one individual piece that's just fallen off, so that's me being stupid. But again, with regards to actually rotating him round and getting stood up, it is easy enough to do so, and these fingers are a little bit easier to use because obviously they're slightly bigger, so you might be able to hold bits and pieces in there. You can make different fists and do whatever it is you want to do, and that is a slightly better look just there on the arm with regards to all the different spikes and everything that are included. You can see all the different detailing and layering on his arm. Moving on to the next figure, and it is the brightest by a mile, and this is the X-Men 97 Wolverine. Again, everything that you see, no stickers or prints. This one does look very good. It is extremely bright and vibrant, but again, just to save time, we're just going to play spot the difference. So the ankle built exactly the same way. For some reason they've used a red pin on this one. I'm not 100% sure why, because on the Spider-Man one they used a black pin so you can see it. I don't know why they just didn't put a red pin on the boot to hide the fact that it's a pin there, because on the Batman they have used a black on black. So why they've done that I don't know, but it goes over my head. Again, differences easy enough to spot. You've got these big things that stick out on the sort of halfway at the calf, and then, well, look at them. These things are absolutely enormous. He's got 6, 3 on each hand, and they do look very good indeed. Got a very big presence and a very big stance. The fact that it's flesh coloured on the side against the blue kind of makes his arms look slightly bigger than everybody else's, but I think they are exactly the same, because obviously it's exactly the same thing on the shoulder. You've got these pads that can get in the way a little bit, so you've just got to be a little bit careful with regards to this. But again, with regards to all the detail on the inside, you've got print, face print, nice bit of detail on the head as well. Now, of course, what you can do with this one, and what I've seen a lot of people do, is you can balance him on his claws. So you can start to get nice bits and pieces done. Now, the wrists are strong enough to take it. It's just on a very slippy table. So if I don't breathe, you can get the pose, and you can get the head in whatever angle it is that you want to do, but the second I touch it, he's probably going to fall over. No, he holds. So that is what that one looks like. So again, you've got the differences with them. So you've got the single That's holding Spidey up. That is now holding Wolverine up, and obviously Batman is just stood with his legs nice and wide to stop him from falling over. So you can get some really, really nice different bits and pieces within this. But before we move on to the next one, we will take a very, very quick look at the back side. Now, another difference on this, actually, quite a big difference, is the head. Because you can see how the head is set much, much further forward on this one compared to. So you actually put the pin in a slightly different position, because otherwise it would have been up like that. So you do build the head differently on this one, so I'm not 100% sure why, but I think it's because it allows you to have a little bit more range and it sticks his head out a little bit more. I think I might prefer it that way, but it does give you a little bit better understanding. Well, I say a little bit better understanding. It gives you a little bit better option of being able to do different bits and pieces led on his stomach, where I think if it was the other way around, you wouldn't be able to flip the head back enough. A very quick look at the back. Again, this one has a little bit more hidden on it, so it does look a bit more Lego-y than it did just on the first one that we saw. They have hidden some more of the technique, different bits and pieces on this, so you can see how they progressed over a period of time. Now, again, with regards to this one, I think this one will stand out on the shelf nicely, and I am looking forward to adding some more to the collection. So moving on to the fourth and final one, and when you start to display them up, I think they do look very, very good together. But how does Ant-Man look? Now, there is a lot of different bits and pieces you can do with Ant-Man. However, obviously, Ant-Man being the giant version that he's supposed to be, I was hoping he was going to be a little bit taller. But in fact, I think he's shorter than Wolverine. I've got the hips exactly the same height, and he seems to be a little bit shorter, but I'm not 100% sure if that's just his ears. And of course, the Batman is a little bit taller than Wolverine because of how his head is. But minus that, with regards to the height problems, let's take a look at everything else. Now, there is quite a lot going on with this one, so let me just get him stood up and get him ready. So again, if we go from bottom, there's nothing different to anything else. The hands we've already seen, so that's okay, but they have added in quite a lot of detailing on this one. So you have got an element just here, you've then got on the inside, you've got a really nice tile on the inside, you've got this bit just here. I do like what they've done with the mask as well. I think that does look very, very good, because you've got the big print on the front. Then you build that bit up separately, you build this bit up separately, and you build the earpieces up separately. So all of that, I think, does look very, very smart and very, very good. And then again, you've got all the shoulder detail, but again, you've got bits and pieces underneath the neck. So this is completely different with regards to just the pieces that you use rather than anything else. Obviously, how you put it together, like I said, they're all the same, they're just two bags, but you've got more prints on the one side, you've got all these nice details with here, and you do get an option to cover up the sort of almost the mid bicep tricep area, because on this side we have got the Wasp to make it look like he is absolutely massive. Now, with regards to that, obviously, or she could just be teeny tiny. It is what it is. But you have got the option of putting her on either arm if you want to, and then obviously you've got enough twizzle and swizzle in the head to be able to look at each other as you go, and that is on an angle, so you can then just angle that up so it looks like they're having a conversation like so. But again, I think if you start to angle them nicely, you can get some really nice photos to make him look absolutely massive if you wanted to. But again, with regards to all the detailing just on the arm, I think it does look very, very smart. And again, on the outer thigh, you have got slightly different details and how it's built up. You've got the red with the black, then you've got the knee bit, and then you come down and you've got all of these different elements just on here. Whereas you can see on Wolverine, again, completely different with regards to the blue and the black that is on the inside and outside. The Spidey has got the red element that this one has in black, and then Batman has a completely different shape there at the back. So all the legs, even though they're the same size, they all use different pieces to give that different sort of texture and feel, and obviously how the outfit should look, and that's what they've done. But I think all of these together side by side do look very, very smart. But I think that is it. I am done. It's a super short, sweet video again, but let us know which one you prefer. Out of these four, which is your favourite character? And which one do you think looks the best in regard to model form as well? Are you a fan of these? Are you going to be collecting any of the newer ones that are going to be coming out in 2024 or further afield? Or do you have any of the older ones that I don't yet have? So let us know in the comment section below what you think. But guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.